This video is sponsored by Wirestock. So as we wind down 2023 and when it comes down to small mini drones from DJI, we have these right here, the Mini 3, Mini 3 Pro, as well as the all-new Mini 4 Pro. And for the sake of this video, because the all-new Mini 4 Pro is actually the same price as the Mini 3 Pro, we will put this one aside and really talk about these two drones right here, the Mini 3 and the Mini 4 Pro. And with the holidays right around the corner, some people might want to know which drone should I get, the Mini 3, which has now been out for about a year, or the new Mini 4 Pro. And I know DJI has like the drones like the Mini 2 SE, which are also a pretty good deal for the price. However, when it comes down to newer tech, newer cameras, newer options, these are the two drones that you're more than likely going to be debating on. And the first one we'll talk about, of course, is going to be price. Is it going to be within your budget? Which drone is actually within your budget? Now, the Mini 3 comes in at $469, and that comes with the standard RCN1 remote control. And then when we talk about the Mini 4, comes in significantly higher, $759, and this also comes with the RCN2 remote control. Now, the RCN1 and RCN2 remote controls are the standard ones that don't have a screen built into it, which means you're going to need your mobile phone to hook up to it in order for you to see your settings, see your camera. So let's jump right in and talk about the similarities with these two drones, and of course, more importantly, why is there such a price jump with the Mini 4 Pro over the Mini 3, and do I even need it? Now, when it comes down to similarities, first one we'll talk about, of course, they are mini drones. They both come in at under that 250 gram mark. The Mini 3 comes in at 248 grams. Mini 4 Pro comes in at 249 grams. Now, being under that 250 gram mark is pretty important depending on where you live here in the US. If you do have a drone that's over 250 grams, you are going to need to register your drone with the FAA. Next thing in common that these drones have is the camera. Now, they both have a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor, and when it comes down to aperture, they are both at an f1.7. If you're looking at using your drone for photography, they both shoot 48 megapixel photos. And the great thing about both drones is that you are able to shoot in both horizontal as well as in vertical format. You can do that on the Mini 3 as well as the Mini 4 Pro. So if you are the type to post a lot more to social media and you wanted the highest resolution possible, you do have that true vertical 4K shooting on both of these. Now, those are some of the similarities as far as these two drones, but of course, let's talk about some of the bumped up hardware and specs on the Mini 4 Pro. And if you don't need some of these things, then you're more likely can just fall back to the Mini 3. And before we get into our next feature, a quick word from today's sponsor, Wirestock. And for those who aren't familiar with Wirestock, Wirestock is one of the best ways to sell your photos, your videos, and now even your AI art online. Once it's uploaded to Wirestock, you're then able to license your content to a bunch of other marketplaces, including Adobe Stock, Getty Images, Shutterstock, and more. A new feature that Wirestock added to their website is that you're now able to create AI-generated images and photos directly in the site, and all you have to do is type in a few different prompts, choose your theme, choose your style, and the app will create you a bunch of different images. One way as a photographer to monetize your art is, of course, creating your own style and posting it as a theme. Once you publish it, you get paid when someone else uses your theme to create their image generation. All for free because Wirestock's commission is only 15% and the creator, you, get 85%. So if you are interested in diving into AI-generated art and possibly monetizing some of your creations, if you guys use my link down below, type in FlytPath, you're gonna get 20% off your premium account. And now, back to the next feature. First, let's talk about video resolution. With the Mini 4 Pro, you are able to shoot 4K 60 and also bump it up to 4K 100 frames a second if you wanted to slow your footage down. Now on the Mini 3, we are capped out at 4K 30 frames a second and slow motion 2K 60 frames a second. Now the biggest difference between the Mini 3 and the Mini 4 Pro is this right here. We have full omnidirectional sensing because we have two fisheye camera here on the front as well as two right here that's kind of on the front pointed backwards. But we have full obstacle avoidance sensing on this drone, where here we do not have that option. So if you are looking at getting a drone and you're worried about possibly running into objects, buildings, people, or anything like that, you're gonna wanna jump up to this one right here because we do have those sensors on the front and on the rear, which will help you then, of course, maneuver your drone, and it'll help slow you down in case you get too close to objects. Now, while that feature is a huge plus for the Mini 4 Pro, if you're the type to just fly your drone out in a really wide open field and you're not worried about hitting light posts or trees or anything like that, then you might want to stick with the Mini 3 because this, even though it doesn't have any obstacle avoidance, if you're the type to just fly up, get some landscape photos and videos, then you more likely don't even need those obstacle avoidance sensors. And to be honest, even though I fly the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro a lot, I will sometimes turn off those obstacle avoidance sensors once I'm up and away. The times that I will turn it back on is if I'm doing some intelligent flight modes and I'm having the drone do some autonomous flights for me, or if I'm also in return to home, I'll turn it back on. And the next benefit we will talk about with the Mini 4 Pro, because we have these sensors on the camera, we are also able to unlock what they call focus track, which is the ability for your drone to follow a subject or to follow you. I really like the focus track, the follow me features that the Mini 4 Pro has, because as a solo content creator, it now gives you the ability to lock onto a subject. The drone can follow it, you can follow you, can follow a car, can follow a bunch of different things. And you have those options with the Mini 4 Pro that you don't have here, because we don't have those sensors on the Mini 3 like we do on the Mini 4 Pro. So again, if you feel like you need those follow me features and those other intelligent modes, you're gonna wanna lean towards the Mini 4 Pro over the Mini 3. Next, we'll talk about video transmission, and this is probably one of the biggest benefits of going with one of these DJI systems versus one of those kind of more affordable or cheaper drones that you would get off the shelf, is that DJI implements what they call OcuSync transmission, which gives you an extremely far distance in range from your remote control to your drone. Now, the range you can get with the Mini 3, if you are in open area, non-obstructed, up to 10 kilometers. Here, the Mini 4 Pro, up to 20 kilometers in distance. Next, we're talking about color modes and picture profiles. Like I talked about earlier, if you're a little bit more of an advanced videographer and you do want flat color profiles, the Mini 4 Pro does have 10-bit D-Log-M as well as HLG. So if you do want to have a little bit more data to work with and a little flatter profile for you to do your color grading, you're gonna wanna jump over to the Mini 4 Pro. The Mini 3 only has a standard normal color profile. Another feature that the Mini 4 Pro has that the Mini 3 does not is waypoints. So if you wanna be able to take your drone out and schedule a mission, so you can actually take it up, fly it, and you can actually lock in a waypoint. So we'll lock it here, fly it to another area, drop another pin there. So you can actually record all of these different waypoints. So if you're doing something where you want to record that flight path and you wanna run it again, you're gonna want waypoints on your drone. The Mini 4 Pro has that, the Mini 3 does not. Finally, we'll talk about flight time. Now, the Mini 3 Pro does do better than the Mini 4 Pro, mainly because of the fact that you're not dealing with all of the extra sensors, all of the cameras on here. So you are able to extend out that flight time a little bit more with the Mini 3. Now, both these drones have two battery options. The lower capacity one allows you to keep your drone under that 250 gram mark. And there's also a higher capacity, longer flight time battery. However, both of these will bring your weight of your drone over 250 grams. So with the lower capacity batteries, you are able to get 34 minutes on the Mini 4 Pro. Here on the Mini 3, you are able to get 38 minutes of flight time. And with the higher capacity batteries, you're able to get 45 minutes on the Mini 4 Pro and 51 minutes on the Mini 3. Now, these are some of the major differences between these two drones. Like I talked about at the beginning, of course, you can think about price, you can think about obstacle avoidance. Also, if you want the drone to follow you, those are things that the Mini 4 Pro has. You also have better flight time here and a much more affordable price with the Mini 3. And of course, there's definitely a lot of other features on both these drones. I didn't go into too much detail in this video. I'm gonna have a list down below, full playlist. If you guys wanna see all the specs, all the details, and a lot more in-depth videos, make sure you guys check that out below. Huge thanks to our sponsor of this video, Wirestock. If you guys wanna take advantage of some of the discounts that they are offering, make sure you guys use those links down below in the video description. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Ultra Stacio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.